Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Jest, and CS2 recently released. It was a big update to CSGO, which was released about a while ago. Had a couple of updates, including some smoke changes, made it look fancier, and a couple of other things. And so, yeah, we're going to look into what has kind of happened with CS2 since its release. Now, I'm here with MDJ. Now,
hello.
You mind telling me a little bit about yourself?
I do enjoy playing Counter-Strike. I'm gonna keep it on the lines of Counter-Strike, just about myself. So I've been in the competitive CS scene for a while now. I think I played my first ECA match, I want to say 2019. So it's not too old. It's not too far back, but it's not that recent either. And I've got a bit of knowledge in the CS scene.
Oh, just a wee bit of knowledge. Well, let's kind of gauge your knowledge just a little bit. So what was the kind of rank you get, and how much money have you spent on this game gambling?
I actually haven't personally spent too much on this game, gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to call, I guess, buying skins flat out, I don't know if you consider that gambling or not, but I guess at most, out of my, I want to say 5 or 6 years playing this game, I've probably only spent around maybe $110, which I guess is a lot on a video game, but over the span of 6 years, that's not really that much.
I think you should spend $1,000 on cases right now, and then $1,000. Well, actually, it's $249 for keys, and then $2,000 on keys right now. Do live unboxing.
They're pretty expensive. I don't know if I want to do that. Live unbuy, I'd have to sink another $200 just to open 20. No, not 20. Probably 50 cases.
Okay. But yeah, but also, what was kind of your rank in CS2, just to see where you were at in terms of esports capabilities, or just on a competitive level?
We talking about the end of CSGO or CS2 at the moment?
Either or. It's I don't think the gameplay has changed too much to where it's I think your rank and knowledge can still carry over from CSGO to CS2.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just say both. So I ended CSGO as a global elite in Valve's matchmaking, and a level 10 around 2600 elo on Faceit. And right now, currently, since the elo got reset on Faceit and everything for CS2, currently I'm sitting around 2300. I lost what I think they reset by, I think it was 500 elo. So I worked my way back up. I got reset to 2100 elo, so I'm just at 23 right now. I haven't been playing too much. But I think you're kind of right. The knowledge from Go does transfer over because the maps are the same. They just had a graphics overhaul. The only new thing in the game is the smokes. If you take an HE and you right click, it just dissipates the smokes. Other than that, everything really does kind of transfer over. And in the competitive, I guess the competitive scene, I wasn't too high when I played League. I've subbed for a bunch of main teams a few times, and I haven't really been playing consistently, but I have been coaching a lot of people.
Yeah, with that, yeah, you definitely, you know your stuff, you know your junk, you know your garbage, you know your and so, and that's where we kind of come to today's topic. It's you've invested a heck of a lot of time into this game. This is your bread and butter. This is your dinner. You eat this on a daily basis, sometimes depending on the week. And
you said it, dude. I spent way too much time in this game. I think if I want to take away some of the AFK hours that I have the game open, I probably have a good probably 6,500, maybe 7,000 hours in this game. And a lot of that is watching a bunch of professional players demos and stuff, doing reviews. But I think actual gameplay, I probably have around 5,000 hours. Maybe a little more, 6,000 maybe.
And kind of the reason why I would bring that up is, why would someone invest this much time into a game? One, it has a lot of value to it, and you really do enjoy the game itself. Unless it's like you're a little crazy. But, those are some people here and there. Unless you're a little... we all might be a little crazy. I played
We all might
Paladins.
be a little crazy.
A little crazy.
That's fair. You did play Paladins.
I did play Paladins. But kind of point being is, why is CSGO, or in this case now CS2, so important to you as a player?
As a player, it's important to me because it kind of brings back a player base for sure. Because CSGO, towards the end of it, like a lot of people were leaving, coming and going. Like only the good players would stay. But like, if I ever just wanted to have fun with like my friends or something, like just have a good time and not want to play competitive Counter-Strike, it was a hard time trying to get people on it because people just didn't want to play it because the skill level was just way too high. They didn't want to get they didn't want to get destroyed. So CS2 with the new graphics overhaul and everything, like it kind of brought a lot of people back. Like to this day, like the game's been out for it's been out since October, so it's been out for a good like 5-6 months now, almost. And like I can still consistently play with a bunch of people that I just enjoy playing with, like not in a competitive sense, but it kind of brought back everything. So like the market's going, the popularity for like esports is brought back because a lot of people just like playing the game. So if they play the game, then they start following the esports because they get interested and stuff like that. I think it's done a lot of good for the game. There's a few bugs here and there that I think Valve can kind of like, they can weed out, but it's overall I like it. I like the implementation of the game.
And you also already have the base of the gunplay from CSGO, and also, the really kind of just slow, tight nature, planning out your approaches, or sometimes just rushing B. There's a lot of that you still have, and that's still a very important element of the game. Unless have sprays changed that much? Gun patterns, stuff of that nature.
So when the game first released, there was like the way that Valve did change. I forgot to mention this. They marketed like this new system. So anyone who doesn't know how servers work for like FPS games, they have like a tick rate. So the tick rate is basically like the update rate at which the server updates and kind of reads inputs from everyone's computers, like through their network, their ISP and everything, and then relays it back into the game, which goes back to your computer, so you see what's happening in the server. So Valve in CSGO, their matchmaking servers were 64 ticks. So the server would update every 64 ticks, which was, what was that? I think that's about 16 milliseconds, right? Somewhere there.
Probably. So. I don't know.
I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. Don't take me seriously. You gotta look it up yourself. And on Faceit, which is a platform for competitive CS, the update rate was 128 tick. So it would update every 128 ticks, which, what am I trying to say here?
I have no idea what you're trying to say. I am lost.
All right, okay. So basically, there's a lot of different tick rates. So there were set tick rates, and what Valve marketed with CS2 is their sub-tick, air quotes, sub-tick update system, which means it wouldn't update after every 64 ticks. It would just update instantly. So whenever you would click your mouse, it updates in the server right when you clicked.
Oh.
And so from what I've played, though, it seems like it's not that true. It kind of seems like they lied a little bit. It still seems and feels like 64 tick. It doesn't seem like anything is there's no difference or anything. And there is also a lot of I don't really know how to explain it. Like they fixed it for sure, or haven't completely fixed it, but it's definitely improved. In the beginning, the shots felt different a little bit. The sprays felt a little off because there was a bunch of input latency, but they're working. But I think what I'm trying to get to, mostly everything mechanics wise stayed the same. The sprays are still same, they're still the same patterns. But I think movement has changed just a little bit, but it's not really that different, to be fair. There's just a bunch of like bugs and nuances, that it's a brand new engine, updated the engine, everything. There's going to be bugs, there's going to be problems that they got to weed out, there's going to be community outlash against like something that they did that, because people don't like change. But overall, it still is pretty much the same game. Like I won't compete with I won't compete with any other.
Okay, I got you. So relatively still kind of CSGO, but with a fresh coat of paint. But
kind of,
yeah. Kind of. It's like there's a couple of changes, but mostly it's still CSGO.
Yeah.
And so kind of going over that, it's like the bit part I found really interesting, because what it sounds like is as kind of hard as that first part was to follow, you did bring it back towards that end part where it's essentially like your input time. So it's like if you fire a gun, that's going off of the tick rate of the server. Is that relatively what you were saying?
Yeah. Oh, and to put this, I think I said it backwards. So for tick rate, like 64 ticks, it would update 64 ticks like every, I don't know. It kind of, the way that I said it kind of seems that 64 tick is better than 128. 128 tick is better than 64 tick because it updates faster.
Okay, so it's like if you're on, say, 128 server, you click your mouse to shoot someone, it'll be faster than a 64-bit server.
Yeah,
server.
Yeah, and everything like registers because it updates. The server updates faster, so everything actually like registers. Because in 64 tick, since it's cut in half from 128 tick, like some things might not register because you might have missed the mark or something. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense
because it doesn't update as fast. Yeah.
Now that we've kind of gone to this point, it's like, okay, now I understand a lot more of what you're talking about. Oh, the more ticks, the more faster. Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Higher the tick rate, better, the faster the server and stuff that gets input.
And then there's going to be a transition with like Batman, and so that was an issue with CS2. And now, with that kind of being said, new game, it still has issues. Well, not necessarily a new game, but big update to CSGO, new changes, new whatnot, and there's going to be issues. You mentioned bugs, but kind of what is some of the primary problems that CS2 is facing at the moment?
So at the moment, I think there's a lot of like, I guess, artifact bugs that they keep finding in a bunch of their maps and stuff. So like, let's say one map has like one texture bug or like texture artifact where you can see through the entire map. So sometimes, depending on where it is on the map, it could give someone a competitive edge, especially like oppers, because you're like scoped up and like the magnification is like increased. So you can see through this artifact and see people like through the map.
Oh.
So there's a lot of these. Like Valve has kind of weeded out like the major ones that have kind of like broken the game. There's a pro player named Monacy. He kind of like there's a bug on like Vertigo where you could see through like from A site all the way to B, and you could like see if people are like crossing or walking up, something like that. So it was kind of a like information in Counter-Strike, if you don't know, is very crucial to like winning rounds. So like if you can literally see someone across the map, through the map before they're gonna hit a site, and you're on the counter terror side, like that is just like, that is invaluable information. Like you can literally just send all your players to rotate to that site, and it'll be like like a 5v5 fight. It won't be like a like T side is executing whatever. But the artifacts are a problem. They're weeding them out. And then there's also when the game released, there was some networking like bugs. Like as I was going back earlier, like when they marketed their quote unquote sub tick update rate. So there was a bunch of inconsistencies with the sub tick thing. Sometimes there would be like 3 or 4 bullets in a mag in a row that wouldn't register in the server. It kind of messed up B hopping, which if you don't know what bunny hopping is, it's where you can like in Counter-Strike in like the Steam engine, you can or like in the source engine, you can kind of like gain speed by like doing consecutive like jumps in a row. And like that kind of got taken out the window, and it was like a really skillful thing that you can only do if you're really good at movement. so a lot of people were upset with that. Also, when the game came out, no more community workshop maps, no more submitting like custom skins for a little bit for like winning the Steam lottery or whatever, when like they put out a new case and they get like community skins. Like there's a bunch of stuff that was just gone, that like the community just kind of like it made everyone angry. Like the hypeness of the game that came out, like over the skins, like the skin market went up, like it kind of inflated a little bit. Like that was the bad part about it. Like besides like everyone getting hyped over the game and coming back and the player base increasing, there's so many bugs, so many issues. They removed a bunch of community features that everyone loved. So they're slowly fixing it, but those are like the main issues of the game that just like it's, I don't understand, like Valve like just taking away stuff that just made the game like so much better, to be honest.
Oh, so it's kind of like, here's the game you love and we strip away the elements that made it what you kind of recognize it as.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it was.
Well, that is kind of a shame. That's happened with a couple of games that I know, because like the transition from Halo in Bungie's hands to 343's, and then that, I'm not going to get in a spiel about that, but it's very disheartening to see when you play a game that you've loved for a while, and then now you're getting update or a new game, and it just doesn't have the same things that came over from the original. Not to say that the gameplay has to be the same or anything, but like it's those other elements that help to bring it in. Like you said, you have community input with, say, skins, so it's like people are kind of doing this as a job partially, 3D design to make skins for the game, and then also community maps, stuff like that. Because it's like, it helps people interact with the game more. And when you take away those elements, well, it's like, okay, there's the main game. Oh shit, someone sees me from far away. Oh no. I don't know if I want to keep playing this. Oh no, bro. And it's kind of like that.
Pretty much. Also, one of the major things that Valve is just like notoriously known for across all of their games that they have is just not putting out updates that benefit the actual gameplay. like Valve is just known for just going dormant on updates for like months on end, and then they come out with like, in CS's case, they'll come out with like an operation which only basically is like, hey, this is the operation. There's like maybe like content for killing AI for maybe like an hour. In return, we would like $15 and you playing the game for like, all of eternity, whatever, to complete the operation pass or whatever, like the quote unquote battle pass, whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah, but most of their updates are just like, it's just skin related. Like, and for CS2 right now, I can't really complain because they actually have been doing a lot since the new game came out. They went dormant for like maybe a month, but then like they keep rolling out updates. They're doing bug fixes, artifact fixes, everything. Like they're doing real good right now. I do actually appreciate it. But in years past, especially for 3 years in a row, there is literally nothing but minor bug fixes that did nothing for the gameplay. And it was just skin updates, every single update that they put out. So they had no update for 2 months, and then, oh, new case, guys, spend money on our stuff. Oh, 4 months go by, nothing. New case, guys. Like, it's just like, actually improve the game. Maybe you'll actually keep a steady player base instead of having to release a game just to get hype and then it like die because you're not doing anything. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I know very much what you
Paladins.
mean. Well, Paladins, they had gameplay updates. Well, Paladins did have like gameplay updates. It's like, you slowly update the game, then it dies, blah, blah, blah. But I was going to probably refer to TF2 there, where they have not had a major update in, I think,
oh yeah, that's fair.
More than 6 years. But yeah, kind of going back to that is like, you go from all these updates and then there's just silence, and then it's like, buy my skins, and you kind of expect more out of them. You expect kind of that same kind of feeling that you originally had with the game, where it's like, oh, new update, cool, I can't wait to play this game. And it's like, oh, Skins.
Yeah,
Yippee!
skins.
I'm ready to spend more money on the game.
This AK skin costs $100 for no reason. Yay!
Yippee! Woo! Yeah, baby. That's what I was waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Yeah, baby! Woo!
Yeah, but it is very disappointing to see that, because that is kind of the state that TF2 is in, where it is, hello, we have skins. I mean, they do have updates where it's like they have like different game modes and whatnot, but like they haven't added any new guns, stuff of that nature. Nothing really like large. It's like they also haven't done any like Valve stuff, like community, like it's mainly been like community updates, community maps, community game modes. Nothing really that's like Valve. So it is disappointing to see that, and well. It's also disappointing to see the same thing happening in CS, because I also used to play CS a lot more when I was, well, the baby. Let's go. I turned into a convertible. Yeah, but it is kind of a shame to see that, because I know... Yeah, CSGO moved to free-to-play a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think that went into effect during... it was either during COVID or a little bit after. It was either like 2020 or like 2021, somewhere.
Okay.
Somewhere in that era of COVID, I think. I remember. I could actually just hold on.
Yeah, sometime around then.
Oh wow, never mind. That was a lot earlier than I thought. It went free to play on December 6th, 2018.
Oh. Wow, that
was actually a lot longer than I remember.
It's almost 6 years. Dang. That was a while ago. So yeah, CSGO went free to play, and there hasn't really been anything, well, too substantial. It is nice that CS2 is getting frequent updates, but at the same time, now you kind of got to think, how much longer is that going to last before they go radio silent just to kind of milk the game with skins? And well, honestly, well, yeah, you kind of don't know if or when that will happen. That is kind of a terrifying feeling. Ugh.
A little bit. But I guess with the new game coming out, I won't have to worry about that for a while. Maybe, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, Overwatch 2 is still around.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was a bad comparison. that was a bad comparison. But it was like there's a couple of feels that are
at
similar.
At least the devs care about the characters in that game.
Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, they've been doing some character nerfs and buffs recently, so you know. At least they update the game, add Valve,
Yeah. But now kind of going on to the element of free to play. How is the hacking issue in CS2 at the moment? Because I know during CSGO, it was definitely still around at the time. I don't know whether it's increased, decreased, whether or not Valve's Steam Guard has. Well, no. What's the banning? The name of the banning thing? Whatever the name is.
The abbreviation is VAC. I honestly couldn't tell you what it stands for. I really don't remember.
Valve anti-cheat.
Probably Valve anti-cheat, yeah. But literally, dude, that system is so old. Like, the hacking problem in Go was pretty bad. Especially towards the end of Go, it was just, like, Valve could not have cared less. And one thing that they did do, there used to be... Haha, funny joke, Overwatch. There used to be... there used to be a system in Go that was called Overwatch, where you would get sent like demos of Valve's matchmaking games, where you're spectating this guy that got reported for cheating, and it would go through a system of like actual like people that played the game. Like it would go through multiple people. Like it wouldn't be like one person be like, oh, they're cheating, and then they get banned. That wouldn't be helpful at all. But it would go through multiple people, you'd review the demo, and then you would like deem at the end of the demo if they were cheating or not. And you'd be like, like it'd have like checkboxes. It'd be like, did they have aim assist? Did they have walls? Or, like, did they have vision, whatever, trigger bot, other hacks, whatever. And then it would get passed on. And then with that system, a lot of real cheaters got banned. But keep this in mind, the game was free to play probably by this era. Like, Overwatch was probably in the game. Game came out in 2012. Overwatch probably got put in the game somewhere in like 2014, 2015 maybe. And then they made the game free to play in 2018. So what Valve did was, when they made it free to play, the Overwatch system was probably no longer needed. It still stayed in the game for like maybe 2 years. They probably took it out in like 2020, somewhere in there, but it got taken out of the game. But because the game was free to play, the Overwatch system no longer needed to exist, because if someone got banned, the game is free to play, you can just make another Steam account. Steam account is free. Like, get hacks, like, because the Valve anti-cheat system is like really old. They haven't updated it probably in like, I want to say, probably a good 10 years. Probably more than that, to be honest. Probably since the game has came out.
Yippee.
They've not touched the anti-cheat system. Wow. So the hacking problem, it was really bad in Go, like at the end. And then like CS2, there are still hackers, but I don't see them as often, especially on Faceit, because like a lot of third-party platforms like Faceit that run like, competitive play, ESEA, before ESEA was bought out by Faceit, they had their own anti-cheat. So Faceit has their own anti-cheat. Like, all those anti-cheat systems are flawless. Like, I literally do not ever run into cheaters. Maybe have I ever ran into probably like maybe one cheater ever, but it was probably someone who was closet cheating, so you couldn't tell they were cheating. Like, it, like, it's really rare to come across cheaters on Faceit. But Valve's anti-cheat system too, like, you gotta do something. Like, I don't remember how true this is. I was looking through on Twitter when all the CS2 like trailers were dropping, like before the game came out. It was said that Valve would come out with a new anti-cheat system as well. But it's pretty bad. Like, it's kind of pointless to play matchmaking, to be honest with you, at a high level at least, because all the cheaters are all high level, like all of them.
So like base game CS2, it's like you chop off the Hydra's head, another appears, because, well, free game, make free account, boom. It's like you can't exactly stop them.
Pretty much. Okay. And like the anti-cheat system doesn't like IP or hardware ban anyone, which kind of sucks. At least to my knowledge. Like, I know, like, I've known people like through like Discord or whatever. Like, I don't actively try to play with cheaters because I just have a competitive mindset. I love playing the game. I don't want to cheat in it. But every once in a while, like, if I find, like some guy in a game that I think looks pretty good, or like, like he's doing well, I haven't seen his gameplay, and I'm like, hey, you're doing pretty good. You want to come play? Like, we'll do a queue, whatever. And then it turns out, like, he's cheating, whatever. Like, I die and then I spectate him and then he's cheating. like it's really bad. Like, Valve just, I don't know, they don't IP ban, because like these guys just go make multiple accounts. Like, I've actually known some of my friends who do not take the game like very seriously, that have cheated in the past. Like, their account got banned, then they made a new one, they just keep on cheating. It's just, I really don't think it's IP ban or anything. So you got to do something, Valve, with your anti-cheat system, please.
Yeah. Well, we begged and begging and pleading, we know does not work, because, well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
If only it did.
I guess we could beg and plead until it actually gets annoying to where they will fix it.
Please, I'm on my hands and knees begging ya. I mean, what happened.
If you hear me, I'm coming to Seattle, baby.
I don't like that tone of voice that you just used. But yeah, I mean, with TF2, there was the hashtag save TF2, and there was an update to for the botting issue there. They eventually got cheaters eventually got around those new fixes. So Yeah, the hope is that it's something that, well, it's like I did also double check that there will be something called VAC Live.
Like with the old anti-cheat system, every time, like maybe like a minor fix would come out, or like they'd be like, "Hey, we fixed your cheater problem," and then like within like, I don't know, maybe like an hour or so, like people who develop aimware hacks and stuff for a living just get around it instantly, because some stuff is just open source, like, you know, like I don't know, like they just find the source code.
Dumps Valve source code again.
It's like really bad. I don't know. I don't want to say really bad, because like these guys have developed their lives for like coding and networking, blah blah, all this bullshit. So like they're probably still really good at what they do. It's just, I guess, finding a way to eliminate it forever is kind of hard. But like sometimes the anti-cheat system it's I know they haven't messed with it. There's no way they have. Otherwise, you know, there would literally be no cheaters.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I will say I am gonna try checking their Twitter to see if like that actually is something that they did announce, because I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it from anything official yet.
3 days, 4.
So I will look back at that in a wee bit. And so now with that being said, outside of hacking, I do know a little bit about how, well, the community of CS2 has been getting around it. You have stuff like Faceit, which you have already mentioned. And so essentially get people in, verify them. Hey, do you have any hacks? And then you blow them up. Yeah. Yeah, so but yeah, it was like with Faceit and stuff like that. So kind of what are like the community workarounds to get, well, to not have to deal with hackers in your games?
So basically, I mean, you already mentioned it. I mean, I've mentioned it. The main one that literally everybody uses is Faceit, which is a third-party platform. And they also get contracted by Valve to host like tournaments. Like they've hosted like what I want to say like IEM, like Extreme Masters. Like they work with like the Intel team to like host their like tournaments and everything. There's a few like I guess like LAN tournaments too in Europe that they host. But basically, like, it's not just like some random third party, like some dude coded up like an anti-cheat system in his basement and then hosted it for everyone to use. It's like this is a big team that has a headquarters in the UK that actively love and support the community of the game and the competitive play. Like they host like the professional league and everything. So it's like it's basically the main one. There used to be some other ones there. I guess there are some collegiate there's some like collegiate sites for like colleges and stuff, especially in like North America, that people use for like their collegiate league and everything like that. But Faceit is the main platform if you want to go where you literally never run into cheaters. There has never been a blatant cheater in my game ever. And I have well over, I want to say like 2,000 matches on Faceit. Like I've played a lot.
Plugs the stats. Like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like the majority of my time on Faceit, like I literally have not seen a cheater. Like unless maybe it was like a guy that had like wall hacks that maybe knew a little too much, but he wasn't like blatantly cheating. It wasn't like anything, and he probably got banned within like a few days, because most of the time like the anti-cheat system is very quick on picking up stuff. Like I have actually probably had maybe 1 or 2 times where in my notifications menu on Faceit where it'd be like, hey, you lost this game against a cheater, here's your elo pack, you know? Like I swear, like I've only ran into a cheater maybe like 1 or 2 times. And that also contradicts when I said I've never run into a cheater, but like
I've never run into a cheater.
It rarely happens. It rarely happens. Out of my thousands of hours of playing on Faceit, it's never a problem. And if it ever is a problem, they literally give you your stuff back, because like the cheater gets banned. Like, he's not gonna stay. And on Faceit, the way that they use it is you also have to verify a phone number, so you can't make like a bunch of like alternate accounts and like Smurf accounts. Like if you want to stay like in high level, because then you'd have to like restart whatever. Like you can do that, but in high level you have to have an anti-cheat system. In low level, they don't require you to like use their anti-cheat system, but in high level it is required. So if you ever get, you know, like super into the game, or you're like a little bit above average player, like you will never have any problems. And even in like level 3, like when I started out, like there weren't any cheaters. They just weren't, because like every cheater in Counter-Strike, or most cheaters, just all play on the Valve anti-cheat system because they know it's dog shit. So if they do actually get banned, they can just make another account and keep cheating and keep playing. With Faceit, you can't do that because there's verification processes that you have to go through.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. Basically, fly swatter on people trying to compromise the integrity of higher level competitive play. Lower level, well, you know, people do care. It's like some people might care, but it's lower level is more like casual play and just like kind of figuring out, you know, what they need to do in the game. Like for higher people like higher level, where it's all like mind games and stuff like that, where people like know the basic mechanics of the game, how it should be played, the timings, everything. Like, you know, it's like, it makes sense that you'd have to like no one would even want to like try to bypass the anti-cheat system that's already like really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like lower level, it's like, yeah, I made my point. I made my point. Yeah, I've made my point. Yeah, low level, it's kind of like what is kind of the point to cheating in lower level lobbies. When higher level, there's a lot more, well, kind of just like to it. There's a lot more importance to the match going on, because
there's a little bit more going on in the brain.
More going on in the brain. Well, also, it's like, say it's a competitive match, you need to have competitive integrity. Esports, you have to make sure that there's no one cheating in your esports, because that can compromise your entire league. Because lower level people cheating in lower level lobbies, it's annoying. But like when you're talking about like macros, when you're talking about a bit about like macro scale, if it's higher level, pros, people who are bringing attention to that game, if it becomes worse for them, then that could spell a decline for the game. I mean, but also even
it's like in higher level, especially in like in leagues and stuff, like especially for like Faceit Pro League, ESL League, whatever you want to call it, for like the professional, whatever. Like, you know, find out one of your players is cheating. That brings, you know, like bad things, like the developers for the anti-cheat system. Brings bad omen for like the team's org and like the people behind hiring this player and everything. And then that also brings into like, you know, people that hosted the event, how they let this, you know, like it just spirals. It's really bad.
Yeah, I get what you mean, especially because there's such a big emphasis on esports with CS. Well, also other thing, because there still are community servers in CS2. Hopefully, I hope that there still are. Are there?
There weren't any on release. There are now, so they fixed that. Some of the community workshop maps are starting to roll in. You know, people are making new stuff, but it's not really like a big thing right now, like it once was. Okay. But there's a few community servers, I will say, for like, you know, for deathmatch, for looking at skins. If you're like looking to buy skins, you can go in and just like look at skins. But there's no KZ servers, there's no surf servers. Like
surf?
Yeah, there's no surf. Nothing. They're probably working on implementing, like people are probably working on implementing surf servers, but the way that Valve made the new community server system and the new movement system with all like the networking stuff that they've done, we can't have B-hop servers, we can't have surf servers, and we also can't have KZ. Well, we could have KZ servers, but I don't know if they could set it up with like all the checkpoints and stuff. So you could still do KZ, I guess, like, but vanilla KZ if you just want to load up a map like offline on your computer or something.
Well, that's
But yeah. So it's starting to roll back in, and I hope they do change it because like there was a huge KZ and B-Hop and Surf community. Like they were carrying the community servers for sure. Like those players have anywhere between 2,000 to like 10,000 hours of just Surf. Like they do not play the competitive like the game that Counter-Strike was made to be. They did it for the movement and like all the like they didn't even play the game, but they're playing like the movement in the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They were like I don't know how to explain it. Like those people were like on another level.
Well, fast movement fun. I go we.
I guess so, man.
Yeah, my favorite racing game, CSGO Surf.
No, but Surf Service, KZ, and B-Hop Service definitely carry the community tab for sure. Like there's a million of those servers, and there's a million people on those servers all the time.
Yeah. But that also goes to show it's not just the base game that keeps the game healthy. You have to have those other fun gameplay elements in the background that you can still go to. I mean, that's also why I've enjoyed several different multiplayer games. I played Halo Reach for a while because of the community servers. Like, you could just sit there and get hit by a car, and it was fun. And so it's like kind of the same thing would apply there, where it's like, it's fun to go fast. It's fun to jump and B-hop and go like B-hop simulator. Ooh, beep, beep, ooh. I'm not going to bring up that game. Oh, no, I brought up the game. But point being, stuff outside of the main game is fun. Looking at other elements or even just goofy stuff, that is fun. That is just fun. And so that is going to bring us to our next question at hand. So yeah, I did start looking at the whole anti-cheat thing one more time. Really, is there going to be a hope that Valve manages to fix all these overall issues with CS2?
I don't know, man. Like, they're with their reputation, everything about being consistent with updates and stuff throughout their, throughout the franchise of games that I dare say that they have. Like, I'm not too hopeful. Like, I'm hopeful about them, like, maybe fixing the game just a little bit, but, like, not, like, not making it to, like, where it's, like, really consistent and fluid and all that. Like, maybe in due time, like, a few years down the road, maybe one or 2 years, maybe. But knowing Valve, that's, like, it could be, like, never. Like...
I know. I know it could be never.
Like, I think we should just end the answer to this question ever. Just I'll put a solid maybe.
It's a solid,
and it's on the lower end. It's not even on the closer to the yes side. It's definitely towards the never.
Closer towards the never. But the hopefully there will be.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping, but I don't have. I don't want to get my hopes too high because last time I did that. Game died. Game died.
Last time I had my hopes high, the game.
Last time I had my hopes died. They literally deleted Counter-Strike Global Offensive, released CS2, and it was really bad. And I didn't play the game for like 2 months before they fixed stuff. So
that's what we love to see.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Overwatch 2 launched. Yippee! Yeah, that is. Now that I'm looking about, maybe the launches are more similar than I thought they were. Huh.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh. Well, that's not good. At the end of the day, kind of what matters is how the players do feel about CS2. Because even if things don't go right or things change, stuff like that, it still is important to see how someone is enjoying the game. And so I kind of just want to see, how disheartening it is as someone who's just invested a lot of time into this game to kind of see the game in the state that it is.
Yeah, it's a little, especially at first when I saw how it was, I was really, I was just so unmotivated to play the game. I was like, it made me feel really sad because I was like, dude, I've invested so much time into this, and then the developers go and just like take the game away that I've spent so much time trying to perfect, perfect the just getting good at the game, really, and trying to stay at the top, you know, and then be the best I could be at the game. And they just stripped it away. And a lot of people, I mean, a lot, probably the majority of the CS player base would agree with me. Like, I wouldn't put it past them. It really just kind of, like, there's a bunch of community outlash and backlash for what, like, some of the bugs and stuff that happened when it came out, and then, like, stuff didn't feel right, which, you know, is expected. Like, I wasn't expecting the game to be perfect, but, like, a lot of stuff that just should not have been messed up, it was either just completely gone, or it was just unplayable. And like it just made me so sad.
It's just
made me want to quit.
Oh, you did for just a wee bit.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But they fixed a little bit of it, which I'm happy about.
You're happy, but you still wish more of the basics to CSGO were in CS2.
Yeah, some of the, like, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but like spraying your weapon kind of doesn't, it's all still the same, but I've played the game so much that there's like a certain muscle memory and like a feel for it, and like, it just doesn't feel right. That's as simply as I can put it. Like, it just doesn't feel right. You can only like tap and burst in this game, whereas in CSGO, like, a lot of star riflers are known for spray control and like spray transfers and like transferring from one target to another and just flawlessly just mastering the spray patterns of guns. It's really hard to do that in CS2. I don't know what it is about it, but like, I'm not the only one that has this take. There's a lot of pro players that have like tweeted, like they're like this feels off, this yada yada yada. They've complained to Valve to, like, you know, like, some of it's a little better than it was, but it's still not there yet.
But hopefully it is. Well, hopefully it will not is. Hopefully it will be at, well, a better state than it is currently. But you'll have to see kind of how updates keep going. And so that is kind of...
You can only just have faith.
Oh, dear God. Oh, no. Yeah, but that is kind of just how CS2 is kind of looking at the moment. But, you know, I did see surprising was I did go and check Steam charts. Steam charts for CS2, it's pretty big at the moment.
Oh, it is popping. I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, like, new game, it did fix a lot of stuff in the game. There's a lot of stuff that is fixed, there's a lot of stuff that's not. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the community feels something that I don't. Personally, the game isn't 100% fixed, but it's still very playable. Okay. Like, I'm not saying it's broken to where, like, you know, like, you press W on your keyboard, you take one step, and then you fly through the map and then die or something. Like it still works. It's still basically the same game, besides, you know, maybe a few minor things like, you know, the new smokes. They recently changed the Zeus about, like, I want to say 3 weeks ago now. They added, you know, like a Zeus skin and everything. But, like, I don't know. It would be like, for the listener or the viewer, you would have to spend a lot of time playing the older game and then swapping to CS2, and then just, like, you know, something just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it's just,
like,
it's not the same.
I can't really explain it. It's just, it's the same but not the same, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got what you mean. The thing is, because you have a very interesting perspective, especially the amount of time and the level of play you're at. If I ever have the chance, I probably want to ask someone with a different perspective on how they feel about this, because they could probably have similar, maybe even opposite views to how you look at this, or maybe, I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit of research into this, but personally,
yeah, it depends on what level of player they are and, like, how much time they put into it, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But now, personally, it's time to dip our toes. Well, you've already dipped your toes into CS2. I have not, and it's
time to game, baby.
It's time to game.
It's time to see if you still got what it takes.
I'm gonna get shit on. It's not even gonna be funny. I'm gonna get destroyed.
Do you even remember how to counter strafe?
No. No.
You played Valorant, right?
Yeah. Dude, did I put a lot of effort into it?
Probably
not. No.
But I'll have to go over the basics again with you, I guess.
All right. Yippee. All right. Well, let's get into this shit.
Let's go.
All right, and now it is recording. Now this is when shit really is gonna hit the fan.
Real.
This is the One Piece is real.
The One Piece.
The One Piece.
The One Piece is real.
Can we get much higher? Higher, so high.
You gotta make a bloopers for this.
Bloopers. It'll stay in a file. And it won't be released until a certain threshold has been hit, and then it'll be like,
yeah.
And then they'll also find all of like the insurance fraud I committed as well. By that time, I would have been to Mars.